Madara was going to lose to Naruto and Sasuke, no matter how you look at it. There is no look back at the Kaguya fight or a new interpretation that would imply Madara was supposed to win after landing back on the ground post casting the infinite Tsukuyomi. It's pretty much objectively true here, however, that this group won't have access to all the things they had in the Kaguya fight. Kakashi would never get his DMS back since Zetsu is still in possession of Obito, and Sakura wouldn't be needed to provide chakra for Obito to maintain the portals to find Sasuke, and that leaves them stuck in the same role Sasuke had assigned to them underneath his Susanoo, which is useless. I also don't want it to seem like I'm downplaying Madara. He'd still be a tough opponent, but with the Sun and Moon seals on Naruto and Sasuke's palms, he's going to get sealed just like Kaguya did, except it'd be easier and quicker. But let's be fair to Madara here. After all, he did gain an entire new eye. The only issue with using this as an argument is there's only two things this eye can do, and they are completely useless in this fight for Madara. Those being casting the infinite Tsukuyomi and Kaguya's ability to shift dimensions, Ami no Minaku. The infinite Tsukuyomi is obviously useless here. While Naruto probably can't resist it, Sasuke can, and his Susanoo can protect Naruto just like he did when it was originally casted. Aside from that, a use of the infinite Tsukuyomi would just take a ton more chakra from Madara. Using Sasuke as an example, when being out of chakra, his Rinnegan becomes drained of his Tomo. When Madara first gets his Rinne Sharingan, he has the standard 9 that Kaguya has, but when he's done casting the infinite Tsukuyomi, he's down to 6 Tomo. Another casting would be useless and would drain him even further. Kaguya's ability to shift dimensions is simply impossible for Madara to use. The description for the jutsu reads, "It's a technique that Kaguya, who owns the Rinne Sharingan, uses. In an instant, she can move the world she's in together with the other people to a different dimension. The places she can move to are the dimensions of lava, ice, supergravity, sand, and acid. These 5 dimensions are directly connected by the first dimension. When she activates it, she uses up a large quantity of chakra, so it's a technique that only she who has an enormous power can use. Although Madara does possess the Rinne Sharingan, his lack of power, as the data book describes, would simply not allow him to make use of the jutsu. Madara does have an extremely potent jutsu in his Limbo clones, but Naruto has already shown himself capable of being able to deal with these by using 6-pass Sage Mode shadow clones to keep them at bay. I've seen arguments that Madara's Limbo clones beat Naruto's shadow clones because after the infinite Tsukuyomi, the Limbo clones were surrounding Naruto and Sasuke, but Naruto's shadow clones were nowhere to be found. To be clear, I don't think this is dishonest or anything. It's a fairly reasonable take, but it lacks context, so I don't agree with it. The two main things being, it ignores the presence of the infinite Tsukuyomi and the fact that Madara could have just re-summoned his Limbo clones. If Naruto's clones were caught in the middle of the infinite Tsukuyomi, and they should have been because they were outside, then they'd likely pop since clones can't be put under Genjutsu, or at least they can't be put under basic Sharingan Genjutsu. Itachi showed us that whenever he tried to do it with Kakashi's clone, but even then Kakashi's clone was put under the Genjutsu, it just didn't have the desired effect. If it is the case that the clones were under the infinite Tsukuyomi, then Madara's clones would have beaten them pretty easily. Like I said though, it's also possible Madara simply respawned his clones, and there is evidence for this. The Limbo clones are supposed to be identical to the user. The ones Naruto is fighting clearly do not have the Rinne Sharingan on their forehead, but Madara's clones post removing his headband do have the Rinne Sharingan just like he does. I suppose it is possible that Madara's clones simply respond to whatever physical change he undergoes and take on his likeness again. However, that remains completely unknown, and it's not really supported either. Madara's Limbo clones do get wounds on them different from the user, as seen when one blocked 6-pass Sage Mode Naruto's rod, and Sasuke was able to observe that there was a wound on his forearm. While we do know Madara's clones can be summoned again if one is defeated, Madara's Limbo clone got beaten and sealed by Naruto and Sasuke, but when he came back with 2 Rinnegan, he had 4 Limbo clones again. This mostly led people to the conclusion that he could just simply use a total of 5 Limbo clones, but that's simply not the case. The databook says Madara can cast 1 shadow with 1 Rinnegan, and then with a complete pair, he can cast 4 shadows. Even with all I just said, and you still believe Madara's Limbo clones beat Naruto's shadow clones, it wasn't an easy fight for them, and Naruto can hold them at bay if need be. But this is also the guy who can make multiple high-level clones numbering into thousands. Even if they get weaker as he summons more, the fact of the matter is there is simply more of them to deal with. This is to limit the Limbo clones from being as useful in this fight as they otherwise would be. It's also pretty weird that Madara's clones don't try to make an attack on Sasuke Susanoo in order to break it and expose them to the light. Madara makes it pretty clear as soon as the Infinite Tsukuyomi is done that he wants to get rid of Team 7. If that's the case, I don't see why he wouldn't do it with Limbo, unless of course he couldn't do it. That is just speculation though. Maybe Madara wanted to break the Susanoo with his own hand or some other weird shonen battle pride thing, but I think it's more likely they just simply couldn't break it. There is of course the idea that Madara might simply be stronger than Naruto and Sasuke, and this again isn't exactly dishonest, but it lacks context. I want to go over the fight Madara had when Naruto and Sasuke first used their powers. To be clear, at this point, Madara has 1 Rinnegan and has absorbed the God Tree. I think the most notable thing about this fight is that both Naruto and Sasuke are getting used to their new powers. As Sasuke says, even when he's fighting Naruto, he had been learning more and more throughout the war about how to use his Rinnegan. Naruto didn't learn to float until the battle with Kaguya, and even in this specific fight, he doesn't know how to fight against the Limbo clones just yet. He doesn't even know what they are exactly. Even beyond that though, I think it's largely overlooked that Madara ran away from Naruto and Sasuke to get more power. Let's not forget, Madara is the one who said, "This is the final battle, my powers versus yours, let us settle who is superior once and for all." It's also not like Madara went to go get his other eye back specifically for launching the Infinite Tsukuyomi. He says he has to keep in mind these 2 are not ordinary brats, then says he needs to get his other eye back soon. When this happens, he immediately stops trying to fight them, and his next move is running away to get his eye. Keep in mind what Madara said earlier, this is the final battle. And to add on to this, Madara went ahead and contextualized what he meant when he was saying that. You awaken 6 paths in Jutsu, and you awaken One-Eyed Rinnegan. However, I've got both those powers together, remember? So he isn't even talking about having his other eye or getting more powerful. This is Madara basically admitting he can't beat these guys, or at least it'd be really hard for him to, and rightfully so at that. Had he not been able to substitute his Limbo clone just a moment after this, Naruto and Sasuke would have sealed him away with their Sun and Moon seals. Sasuke even signals to Naruto to use the jutsu that the Sage of 6 Paths gave them. Not to mention, right after this, Sasuke with his Chidori cuts Madara clean in half. The most common response to this is that Madara simply let Sasuke cut him in half, but I don't think that's true. For one, that doesn't make any sense, literally, at all. Madara is trying to get his eye back quickly, and he obtained Kamui. If he could just use it, he probably would have. And even aside from that, if you actually look at the page, you can see Madara is on the ground during Sasuke's approach, and when Sasuke actually cuts him in half, he's in the air, which implies he tried to get away, but simply couldn't. Sasuke's blade is also aimed upwards as if he had to cut higher, and Madara even has his left leg up, which might imply he tried to kick Sasuke, but I won't take it that far. Madara just clearly did not sit there and let Sasuke chop him in half. To Madara's credit, this is all like I mentioned earlier, before he got his second Rinnegan back from Obito, and we all know the quote-unquote true power of Dojutsu is released when you have both eyes. I think this example is pretty clear that the true power here is Madara being able to use his 4 Limbo clones instead of the one he gets from having 1 Rinnegan. When Madara comes out with his other Rinnegan, he is noticeably a bit different. mainly just more confident though. Even with his alleged jump in power, Naruto, who now knows how to fight the Limbo clones, is doing considerably better against them. This is even Naruto without using boil release, which gives him quote-unquote unparalleled physical strength. Normally a statement like this would be seen as nothing but hype or hyperbolic, but Naruto actually overpowers Kaguya when he gets this boost. Even if Madara is somewhat immortal, that doesn't mean he can't be knocked out or incapacitated, in which case if that comes up, Naruto and Sasuke will simply get rid of him with the 6-pass Shibaku Tensei. I feel like so far I've done my best to not try and downplay Madara, but instead to put things into perspective. I'd like to try and switch to putting Team 7 at a little bit of a disadvantage. So how would it go if Madara fought Sasuke or Naruto in a 1v1? This is not only a Herculean task to ask of Sasuke, but borderline impossible. After absorbing the Divine Tree, Madara's regeneration gets to a point where he is basically immortal. Without some kind of insanely strong sealing jutsu or a way to blow him apart completely, you're not going to be able to defeat him. To give a rough idea of how much his healing was boosted, Guy kicked Madara's upper torso in half and Madara claims he almost died. Sasuke bisected Madara and he healed it with no issue, and even stayed in half the entire time he was talking to Obito in the Kamui dimension. There could be two things going on here. Either Madara cannot regenerate very quickly with super sufficient damage, or he purposely chose to halt his regeneration while he was in the Kamui dimension. Given his haste to escape Naruto and Sasuke and the fact he did seemingly try to avoid Sasuke's attack, it leads me to believe this regeneration is not instant. Madara himself also might imply it when he's getting attacked by Naruto after Naruto awakens 6-pass Sage Mode. Madara is wondering why Naruto is able to get the upper hand on him, and he considers the fact that he isn't done healing yet. Although this is Madara before absorbing the God Tree, it might be possible the God Tree doesn't amplify Madara's regeneration at all and simply strengthens his life force or his ability to cling to life despite damage done to him, so that in turn boosts his regeneration. I suppose it's all the same in the end, but the end goal of what I'm trying to say is that even though Madara is immortal on a technicality and he can heal from mortal wounds, he can still be killed. This is obviously without bringing up either character's Susanoo. And granted that in character, this version of Madara does not use his Susanoo, I think if Sasuke used his own and started gaining an advantage, it'd prompt Madara to start using his Susanoo in response. Just being fair here, I don't really think Sasuke is stronger than this version of Madara, especially with 4 Limbo clones on his side. While I don't think Sasuke is getting completely stomped out by Madara, I do think he'll probably end up losing the fight in a 1v1. Fighting Naruto one-on-one is a different story. Naruto still has the necessary things to defeat Madara without Sasuke's presence. That doesn't mean he can outright do it, but it makes it far easier to argue for Naruto being able to do it than from the position that Sasuke could do it. For starters, Limbo is a non-issue for Naruto. Like I mentioned before, Naruto can make more than enough clones to cover the Limbo clones that Madara can make. But Naruto does possess sealing jutsu with his magnet release Rasengan, and he also has a jutsu that can make him far stronger than Madara, at least momentarily, with his use of Boru release. If Naruto gets amped up to the point he did when fighting Kaguya, then he also has the ability to destabilize Madara by using a Rasen Shuriken from each of the tailed beasts, but that might not turn out for the best. If Madara destabilizes, the fallout obviously won't be as big as the fallout Kaguya made, where there is also no known way to stop this. In the original manga, Kaguya stopped it on her own and made a giant Truth Seeker orb, which I suppose Madara could do as well, but I don't know if he could restabilize after Naruto destabilizes him. One giant problem for Naruto though that he has no real counter to is the fact that Madara can use the infinite Tsukuyomi, and it will work on Naruto this time. He has no Sasuke Susanoo there to cover him, and sure, the argument I gave at the beginning of the video might have given Madara a reason to not use it again, but if it's just going to work this time, then him using it again should really be no problem. I think the existence of this jutsu, assuming it doesn't have some unknown cooldown effect because of the massive chakra cost like Almighty Push or Universal Pull have with their 5-second timer, It could make this fight swing just blatantly in Madara's favor, but it is a bit hard to say Madara would just cast another Infinite Tsukuyomi because of only Naruto, but it certainly is possible. I don't know, just call the one-on-one between Madara and Naruto a 50-50. Now, you're probably wondering why I haven't brought up DMS Kakashi in this example, and that's because Zetsu is still gatekeeping Obito, who is asleep at this point, so Obito can't pass away and lend his Sharingan to Kakashi from the afterlife. We do see Naruto rip off Zetsu from both himself and Sasuke, so it's possible one of his shadow clones could probably do it again, but it also begs the question of what would happen to Zetsu, and I honestly think Naruto could just kill him. That's the real, honest truth. Obito is already dying anyway because he was a Jinchuriki that had a tail beast ripped out of him, so it might be possible that DMS Kakashi could still spawn in this random timeline of events that I cooked up, but I don't know how probable it is. But anyway, next time you hear someone say that Madara got replaced because he was too strong, let them know he got replaced because in a 2-on-1, he would have been light work for a full power Naruto and Sasuke.